Virgin olive oil production process. We will start with the harvesting. It's important for the olive grove to remain as healthy and productive as possible. We achieve this through good management. Visually, we notice that the olives are at their optimal harvesting stage. Here we see the olives in Veeraisen when they begin to take on a purple hue. With the use of a canopy, we will perform mechanical harvesting. The vibrator grabs the olive tree trunk. Then, the canopy is opened. And thanks to the vibration, the olives start falling. Here it's important for the machine operator to have experience. The aim is to handle the tree trunk and the vibration as gently as possible. This way, we avoid damaging the olives and ensure they reach the olive mill in the best condition. Similarly, special care must be taken with the trunk to avoid damaging the roots. After harvesting the olives from the trees, we head to the prepared trailer where we will begin unloading the olives. In this process, it's also crucial to handle the olives with care to avoid hitting them, ensuring that the load is free from branches and twigs to maintain product quality. It's also important to note that the trailer should not be overloaded. If we accumulate too many olives in the trailer, they can become crushed. The lighter the weight of the olives, the better it is for their quality. In this case, we observe an alternative method of harvesting called blankets or tarpaulins, which may have different names depending on the geographical area. These tarps are placed on the ground of the olive grove around the base of the tree trunk. Subsequently, a comb-like olive harvester is used. It's essential that the team has experience to avoid damaging the branches for the next year during this process. It's crucial to proceed with care and avoid sudden movements to minimize damage to the tree during harvesting. The quality of the oil will largely depend on the condition of the olives. The better they are, the higher the quality of the resulting oil. Once the trailer is filled, it's crucial to immediately take it to the olive mill to ensure the freshness of the olives and maintain their quality. Reception at the olive mill. The olives are then unloaded into the receiving hopper. Prior to this, the yard manager has assessed the quality of that trailer to determine where it needs to be unloaded. Depending on the size of the olive mill, it's beneficial to have different receiving hoppers to classify the olives accurately. Here, we separate the branches, as this is where the olives will be weighed, and samples are collected for analysis. We observe that the conveyor belts are suitable and certified for food safety, ensuring a safe and efficient process. The olives ascend on these conveyor belts as they are unloaded. We've noticed that there's a metal mesh on the conveyor belt to prevent the olives from jumping off. This ensures that the olives stay on the belts and keep the floor of the olive mill clean. This way, we're already working to keep the mill clean, aiming for quality. Here we can see the distemmer. It's used to separate the leaves from the olives using a fan. These leaves will be part of the byproducts of the olive grove, which can be used for composting and as feed for livestock. At this stage, we weigh each batch of olives that we want to distinguish. The main goal is to ensure that they reach the crushing mill as free as possible from branches and any objects or stones they may contain, thus maintaining their optimal quality. We can see that the olives are already free from branches and excess leaves, ready to be crushed in perfect condition. Notice the cleanliness of the conveyor belts. There's no residue from the olive paste that was brought in previously. It's important for the production to be continuous and not to let the olives sit idle to prevent them from becoming crushed. As soon as the olives arrive at the olive mill, they should be crushed as soon as possible. Milling. Once we have the olives cleaned and weighed, they will continue their journey in continuous production, which is the mill, the first machine the olives will encounter. Remember that the mill is possibly the most important machine in preserving the volatile compounds of olive oil, as it is the first aeration the olives undergo. The first step in oil extraction is the mill. The mill you are seeing is the hammer mill, which is more commonly used, although there are others with different olive breaking systems that are very effective. It's important not to overload it for proper crushing into a homogeneous paste. In the mill, the olives are passed through a series of hammers that crush and break them to release the oil contained inside. Blending. The resulting olive paste undergoes a beating or kneading process to facilitate the separation of the oil from the olive pulp. During this process, the paste is slowly kneaded to allow the oil droplets to join together and form larger droplets, making extraction easier. The master miller is constantly monitoring the process, assessing both the particle size and the constant temperature of the mixture. The process called coalescence begins. It's a process in which the small oil droplets present in the mass fuse together to form larger droplets. This process is important during olive oil extraction as it facilitates its separation from the aqueous phase and the olive pulp. Horizontal centrifuge or decanter. After the beating, the olive paste enters the decanter. This equipment is crucial in the process, as it uses centrifugal force to separate the different components present in the mass. When centrifugation is activated, the heavier components of the olive, such as solids and pulp residues, are pushed towards the outer part of the decanter. On the other hand, the oil, being the component with the lowest density and weight, tends to remain in the inner part of the decanter. Finally, the purified oil free from impurities is directed towards the outlet of the decanter, where it moves on to the next step of the extraction process, the vibrofilter. The importance of temperature throughout the entire process is crucial. The pumice, which constitutes the denser and more solid fractions of the crushed olive mixture, is directed towards the pumice tank, separated during the centrifugation process in the decanter. Once the pumice accumulates in the tank, it is prepared for subsequent transport and treatment in the pumice processing facilities for utilization. Vertical centrifuge. The vertical centrifuge plays an essential role in the process by cleaning and clarifying the virgin olive oil, removing any remaining moisture that might persist after the extraction process. The vertical centrifuge ensures that the obtained oil meets the most stringent quality standards by eliminating impurities and ensuring its optimal purity and clarity. It's important that the clean oil does not fall abruptly in a cascade into the tank to prevent the formation of bubbles and avoid oxidation. As you can see, the oil has a milky appearance. This is correct, due to the moisture that the oil still contains. This would be what is called unfiltered virgin olive oil. Tasting is essential for assessing quality. That's why the workers at the olive mill must be well trained in tasting. Filtering. Here we can see the cellulose filters, which will help us to finish cleaning the oil so that we can store it in the best possible conditions in the cellar. Storage and cellar. Once the oil is filtered, we move on to the cellar, where it's important for each tank to be properly identified. Cleanliness is also crucial here. We have different tanks so that it will be easier to work on quality, and we can separate by the different batches that interest us.